Welcome, my peeps, my peoples, peep squad. Let's get into it. Let's talk about this situation with Welcome to Sweetie Pie. Tim Norman is actually still behind bars and he is locked up. And he's also locked up with Terica Ellis, as you can see, too, as well on the picture. And also, there has been a new person that has been indicted. And this murder for hire plot is Yagnam, 42 of St. Louis, was charged with one count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and mail fraud too as well. And Tim is now facing the same additional charges too as well, with the conspiracy to commit murder for hire and murder resulting in the death of Andre Montgomery, which is a sad situation. Like, Lord have mercy, like, what's going on with this situation? This is just really, really, really sad. And I really feel bad for Miss Robbie Montgomery. She tried to do her best to help her son, provide and help him, and for him to have a better life with his children. And she also wanted to be a part of his children's life too as well. But to have her son be involved in all this and do this, like, this is crazy. Do you stay? Do you go? Do you console him? Do you ask for questions? Do you assist him? Do you give him financial assistance? Oh, Lord, I wouldn't know what to do with that situation, because Tim is a waste of space. And also, anybody that was involved in this murder for hire plot is a waste of space too as well. Welcome to Sweetie Pies was a wonderful show too as well. But what you see with Tim didn't look right. Tim didn't look stable. Tim had some issues. In the beginning, Tim came off as a good person, a good son, and then it just actually just ricocheted to also negative like things about Tim and his behavior, the way he thinks, the way he talks. He thinks that somebody owes him, that things are supposed to be given to him. He's supposed to take it from his family too as well. He thinks he's deserving of everything that his mother has accomplished, that he should take over. And basically he feels like people are beneath him and money ruled him. He could have made that money. He could have did the hard work. He didn't have to do what he did to his nephew, but he was jealous of his nephew, and he wasn't too keen on his nephew being liked by the fans. And his mother, Miss Robbie, Montgomery, taking her attention, taking, love towards, her grandson. She loved that boy and she wanted to protect him. The last thing that she wanted was for her grandson, for anything negative to happen to him, for him to depart from this earth in any way, shape, or form, to have to do anything with violence. She tried to protect him. She tried to be there for him, and also for her grandson, Andre Montgomery, to also make sure he graduated from high school. And Tim knew that he was involved. He knew he was involved in this situation. And to put on that farce and act like he was hurt, act like he was in pain, bring his mother to the area where Andre Montgomery was taken from this place, is just also just so terrible. And the way that Tim treated the women on this show, especially his children's mother, was also astounding, just awful. Like he shouldn't have been on the show. He shouldn't have been on TV. He should never got a whiff of fame or prosperity off of his mother. He should have built his own thing, but he couldn't. And he couldn't do the right thing. He couldn't do the right thing if his life depended on it. So that's where he is at today. And hopefully he stays there too as well. But Yagnam, the new person that was arrested in this situation, he's also produced several hits for Nelly and Nellyville. Like, Lord have mercy. Like, this insurance agent, Yagnam, basically was a insurance agent and a music producer too as well. He produced 7 tracks on Nelly and Nellyville album and helped Sweetie Pie James Tim Norton take out hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of life insurance on Tim's nephew, Andre Montgomery, and he has been indicted, and thank God he has been indicted too as well. So there was 2 people that basically, an insurance agent and Tim, supposed to be this magnificent, wonderful businessman, and he brought Sweetie Pies to the top level, couldn't even fill out the right documents and actually even receive the money from their misdeeds that they have committed, which is like, it wasn't meant for Tim to benefit off of his nephew, Andre Montgomery. May you rest in peace. And you tried your best. It wasn't your fault that you was related to someone like Tim Norman. It was not your fault that you had to come in contact with him. And I know Andre Montgomery mother feels hurt. The father feels hurt. You know, anybody, the family that sent Andre Montgomery to, you know, where Tim was and being around Tim, you know, they have all types of regrets too as well. This is a real sad situation. I mean, all the way around, it's sad. It hurts when you see Andre Montgomery on TV. When you see the little clips of Andre Montgomery, you can tell that he wanted to make it. He wanted to be successful. He wanted to do the right thing. But there was a lot of things pulling him back, but he was trying to move forward. And Miss Robbie Montgomery was really trying to help her nephew too as well, and it's just really a sad situation. It's just awful to see this. It's just awful to even report on this. It just hurts when you see Andre Montgomery. You know that it was so wrong for what happened to him. So wrong when, you know, it was his uncle that did this. It was his uncle that did this, which is just outright just. And Terica Ellis, oh Lord have mercy, she should be under. Terica Ellis should be under. And she should never see the light of day. And her child's probably better off without having her in their life, for real, because a mother to do this and to actually think that you're gonna get away with it, that this was cool, that this was something that you could do, like nah, it don't work out like that. This ain't what it is. Like, this is just real sad all day. It's a horrible situation. And for Miss Robbie Montgomery to have to endure this, another tragic thing in her life. And this woman is in her 80s, you know, she's either in her 80s or she's in her 70s, and now she has to deal with this. She has to deal with this situation and knowing that her grandson that she tried to protect and she tried to mold to be a great young man, that her son that she gave birth to was involved. And Terica Ellis was actually the person that, you know, that actually had Andre leave the house, come out the house, where eventually, you know, at the end of the day, he departed from this earth. It was actually Terica Ellis that got the location and talked to Andre Montgomery on the phone and persuaded him to come outside. And that's when the people and the vehicle that Terica Ellis was riding in end up making sure Andre Montgomery departed from this earth. This is really a sad situation. It just hurts. Like, you feel the pain. Like, this is not something that is just a regular news story. This is something that is deep-seated, because you've seen a black family from Mississippi, from St. Louis, employ people, and a woman, you know, Miss Robbie Montgomery, try to put her family on game and protect them and make sure they was financially stable too as well, and then end up on the Oprah show. And she sung, she did music and everything else like that, but she wanted to create generational wealth for her family. She lost a husband, she lost a nephew, she lost a son, and she lost a grandson too as well. Now she's about to lose her son too, but she strived for better, she strived for more, and she was stern, she was strict, but it didn't matter. Tim didn't care. Tim wanted to take from his mother. He wanted what his mother had because he had financial problems and financial issues due to his own lack of ethics and work ethics too as well, because he had the silver spoon when he got out of prison for serving 10 years for armed robbery, but he tried to take his mother's business, his mother's name, and everything else like that from up under her. And then on top of that, when he couldn't do that, he made his nephew Andre Montgomery depart from this earth, which is also sad, which is just a really, you know, sad situation. And it's very hurtful. It's very hurtful to the people. If you hear people talking about this case, it's with passion, because it's just so sad, because this was a good young man. He was trying to make it, and all of us have family members, we have friends, we have children that strive and want to do better, just need the help and the support and the guidance of the people in their community and their parents and their family. But when you have someone in your family that is the snake, that is the enemy, it's hard to win. And this young man was only 21. How did, Tim Norman think that it was okay to do this? Like, why did he choose him? Of all people, he chose him. He could have found anybody off the street that had any type of illicit problem, but he chose his nephew because of envy and jealousy. And his nephew was a greater person than Tim Norman. He had a greater heart, a greater spirit, and that wickedness with Tim Norman is what made him do what he did. Just greed. And we're probably going to see this case on American Greed and also the ID channel. But Miss Robbie Montgomery, she is stuck between a hard plate and a rock, because she did go down to Mississippi to see Tim Norman. He should never be free. Neither one of these should never be free. Yagman, the producer, 42, he should never be free too as well, because he know more than what he is probably saying, and he's probably going to drop the dime on everybody. But someone had to drop the dime to get the FBI to investigate this case, because the case actually really started in 2014. We send prayers to the Montgomery family, minus Tim Norman.